Good evening, friends, and welcome to the fourth session in Becoming a Trailblazing Leader series. And today we are going to discuss emotional intelligence. And come to think about it, this is one of the most important life skills that we need to learn. Come to think about it, even while we tend to believe that we are rational beings, human beings are rational, but it is an emotion behind each and every action of ours. Let me give you a few examples. Why did the Ramayana happen? What was the underlying emotion which triggered the events leading to the battle in Sri Lanka? क्या emotion था वो which led to this entire Ramayana happening? What was the emotion which Kekai was facing? Hi Somesh.
Greed, security,
Greed,
insecurity.
insecurity, greed,
Jealousy, jealousy.
jealousy. Okay, all of these are correct. Correct. सो थिंक अबाउट इट. एक इमोशन से कितना कुछ होता है. उसके हस्बैंड की जान भी चली गई उससे, उसका बट सो इमोशंस आर सो पावरफुल. Look at similarly Mahabharat, look at the stock market crashes, look at the war that happens. They are all emotional decisions in our lives also. All our decisions, when we buy a Mercedes, what are we buying essentially? Mercedes क्यों खरीदते हैं हम, या BMW क्यों खरीदते हैं? लॉजिकली तो खाली आपको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन चाहिए ना, फ्रॉम पॉइंट ए टू पॉइंट बी. तो आप क्यों मर्सिडीज और BMW खरीद रहे हो, क्यों जगवार खरीद रहे हो?
Status symbol.
Show off, status symbol, right? It's to to attract women. So is that an emotional need or a rational need? Both. Yeah, more rational. Yeah, you can justify it, but essentially if you were rational, then why you can look at bus, you can look at scooter, you can look at bike, you can look at Maruti Alto. Why BMW? Because it's the status you want. It is what, even if you look at the features, if you look at the features of Mercedes, all those features are there in many other cars. The same features are there in many other cars with half the price, Dr. Rao. So if I want the features, then why would I not go for the car which is half the price? So that is why if you look at all our decisions, Somesh, Gaurav, the decisions to buy a house, how much are they driven by emotions? And then we buy one house, two houses, and so many others. So that is what we are going to explore today, how powerful emotions are and how they drive under our decisions and life. But before we dive into the session, I would like to share that our next session will be on 28th May. Not on 21st, but 28th May at 8 p.m. same time, which is on compassionate leadership. And that will be the last session we will have on Thursday. Thereafter, our next session will be on 7th June at 8:30 a.m. So from 7th of June onwards, we will move to morning slot. We got maximum votes for 9 a.m., but we will go ahead with 8:30 a.m. because it's in between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. So that's how the schedule is. So those who are attending live or watching recording, please make a note of this. Now coming to emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not about being emotional. It is our ability to recognize our emotions, understand them, manage them, and when we start understanding and appreciating our emotions, then we develop the ability to understand the emotions of other people. And at the third level, we are able to navigate the room, or manage the room, which is a very important quality of leadership. So that is what emotional intelligence is about. It works at three levels: understanding our own emotions and thereby developing the ability to understand the emotions of others. And third is where you start managing the environment. And emotional intelligence is responsible for 85% of the success as we move up. In the initial 5-10 years of our career, maybe IQ is more important, but thereafter it is our ability to lead people, to deal with customers, to deal with peers above the level, below the level. That is what contributes to our success. The session today is divided in 5 parts. I'm not sure if we will be able to go through all the 5 parts, but even if we are not, I am happy to share the recording of the last session, with the last batch that we do, in case you want to go into the deep dive this. But we will do as much as we can, and the idea is to have an interactive session, so that we can derive the maximum benefit out of this session. Thank you, Dr. Rao. So let's begin by understanding what are emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. And for understanding our emotion, the first thing we need is to be aware. And awareness is rated to be the number one quality of leaders. And this is as per the study done by Center for Creative Leadership, which is considered to be one of the foremost institutions in leadership training across the world. So when we are aware, we are able to understand our emotions, the signals our body is sending. What am I feeling? Where am I feeling in the body? Because emotions are not in the mind, they are in the body. What triggered that emotion? And once we are aware of these, it helps us regulate them better. So the emotional intelligence has two essential components to it. One is awareness of the emotion. What am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? What triggered it? And with that awareness, ability to regulate that emotion. So let us begin by understanding what are the emotions we have experienced today in the last 1 week. Please write down the emotions you have. Let's write down the emotions you have experienced in the last 5 days or last 7 days, from last Thursday till this Thursday. And we are not going to ask you what is the emotion you felt, but what we're going to ask you is the number of emotions you have felt. Hello, Abhishek, are you with us?
Yes, coach. Yes.
Okay, very good. So please write down the emotions, the different emotions that you have felt in last 1 week. Please type D once you are done. Hello, Vasudev. What are the emotions we experienced in the last week? Last 1 week. Please keep your cameras on and type done. Thank you, Dr. Rao. We'll wait for a few more responses. Monica done very well. How many emotions did you experience in last 1 week? Okay. Thank you, Sumesh. Gaurav, are you done? Okay. Now, what I would like you to type in the chat is the number of emotions you felt.
कॉल पे हूँ
Huh? What are the number of emotions you felt? Six. Okay. Gaurav, Monica. Abhishek, the number of emotions you felt? 3 to 4. Gaurav is 8. 4, 6. Okay. Now, what does that tell you about ourselves? You know, we are leading this life, and our range of emotions that we experience is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whereas, look at the different emotions. You know, that there are 100, or depending on who you are talking to, they will say that there are hundreds of human emotions. Just if we look at angry, for example, it is let down, humiliated, bitter, mad, aggressive, provoked, hostile, furious, indignant, frustrated, distant, critical. You know. Now, maybe look back in your last week in light of this and see if you are able to find a few more emotions that you experienced, or if you are able to reframe the emotion you felt with something else. So if you pretend, suppose I felt happy, so was that playful, content, interested, proud, successful, confident, respected, isolated, or sad if you felt sad, disgusted? Look at this wheel of emotions, and what we are trying to do is see if there is something more that we experienced. So maybe your number goes up from 4 to 8 or 8 to 10. And second is, would you like to reframe or relabel some of your emotions? So if you say you wrote that I felt fearful, then was it weak? Was it fear, or was it worthless, nervous? What was it? Or if you're feeling happy, was it love, thankfulness? Most of us, we may be financially very well off, but emotionally we are poor because we lead our life with very limited range of emotions. We are leading our lives with only knowing only or experiencing only 4, 5, 6, or 8 emotions, whereas there are so many more. you know for anybody, did the number go up, or could you reframe? Hi Sasha. Anybody would like to share? Hello. Anybody would like to share their experience? Any new insight they got? Did their numbers go up, or did you relabel, reframe any emotion?
the number went up significantly high.
Very nice.
So
Okay.
just that six emotions that I had mentioned earlier were group emotions. They were not in detail like the slide you just put up.
Very nice. So as you tune into your emotions better, you start getting more insights. And one of the ways to do this on a regular basis is to journal about the emotions that you're feeling. This is a very simple exercise which takes less than 10 minutes but is extremely powerful. I started doing this sometime in 2020. I think it was 2020. I had joined a coaching program with Thaddeus Lawrence, and as a part of that, we were doing a goal setting exercise. And after we did the goal setting exercise, he asked me this question: Ashish, how do you feel about the goals that you've set? And I had set aggressive goals for myself. I had set like 3x, 4x growth in the coming year. And I said, I don't feel anything. And he said, what does that tell you about yourself? And I didn't have any answer. Then he asked me to do this journaling activity. And believe you me, asking these simple questions to ourselves on a daily basis will open up new insights, tremendous insights. And I guarantee you, in next 30 days, if you do this daily for next 30 days, you will get great insights, and your experience, your energy will be at a completely new level. So what are these questions? What emotions am I feeling today? Or what dominant emotion did I feel today? And you write this down. It's a journaling. You take a notepad or diary and write it down. It's not to be typewritten. It is to be handwritten. Using scale of 1 to 10, pinpoint the intensity of emotion you are experiencing. So suppose you are feeling sad or happy or excited. How excited? Now we have seen the scale of emotions, the range. Go beyond the primary emotions. What's the range? Are you feeling angry or infuriated? Or, what are you feeling? What brought about that emotion? What triggered that emotion in you? What was the incident? Was it some person, some situation? What am I learning about myself? And once you tune into this, then you will start learning a lot about yourself, your values. Where in the body did I feel this emotion? Was it in the head, in the heart, in the chest, in the gut, in the, some pain somewhere, stiffness? Where in the body? Emotions are felt in the body. Okay. So this is a great way to tune into our body and our body intelligence. And great insights come this way. What do I really want to feel? And what am I?
Okay.
Sorry?
Hold.
And what am I willing to do to create a solution and handle this right now? Okay. Uh, I would suggest let's take 5 minutes and do this right now only. Okay. What emotion am I feeling now today? This we have done, or maybe it'll from what we have done earlier. You will not take much time in responding to this one. What is the intensity? What is the predominant emotion you felt today? What was the intensity? What brought about that emotion? What am I learning about myself? Where in my body do I feel, or did I feel the emotion? What do I really want to feel? What am I willing to do to create a solution and handle this right now? If you have any questions, or if something is not clear about this, please unmute and ask. Take 5 minutes and journal this, and let this be the beginning of your daily journaling on tuning into your emotions. An extremely powerful exercise which will take you to a completely new level. If you have any questions or if you are done, please type D. If you have questions, please unmute yourself. If you are done, please type D. Very well, Doctor. We'll hear from you in a bit from now. Anybody else? 2 more minutes. Abhishek, Sasha, are you ready? Would you like to share? Somesh, Vasudev.
I'm working on
Uh,
it.
sorry?
I'm working.
Okay, you're working. Okay. Okay. Gaurav, would you like to share?
No, this is just too personal right now.
Okay. Okay. Anything that you can share from this? How did this exercise feel? Did you get any insight, Gaurav? Maybe that you could share?
Yeah, probably the seventh question gave an answer
Okay. Okay. Great.
to what can be done.
All right. All right. Dr. Rao, would you like to share something?
Uh,
Yes, Gaurav, you speaking? Ah, sorry.
yeah, I wanted to know if you could uh, share the image of that emotion wheel.
Okay.
Uh,
You can click a, I'll go back to that. You can click a, I can share it in the group also, but you can click a picture of it also.
I have already done that. The thing
Okay, I'll
is,
do that. I'll do that, Gaurav. No worries. I'll do that.
ये बहुत छोटा हो जाएगा देखने के हिसाब
We will share it in the group. No worries.
से.
Dr. Rao, you were sharing something?
Yes. I was just waiting for you. This is the frustration of the part of the anger component.
Sorry, Dr. Rao.
This is the frustration of the anger component,
Okay. Is what
where
is,
it's what I felt today, one of the biggest emotion which I've gone through today.
okay,
And its scaling is 6 out of 10.
okay,
Earlier it used to be 10 out of 10. Slowly it's coming down.
yeah,
Maybe I'm getting used to it. Because of one of the financial irregularities which has happened, which is supposed to come, which has not come because of whatever reasons it is. Uh, and I have felt it on the chest, and the tightness of the chest. And when the time came, there's a little bit of heart palpitation, chest tightness, other things. and it went off. Then I came to know about this the 2-minute meditation, which we can uh, started practicing 2-minute meditation and mindfulness. Uh, that 4 things which I learned in gratitude session, in the mindful initial sessions, where uh, uh, forgiving the person who is involved, and maybe a manifestation meditation followed by a 2 minutes manifestation meditation where things got closed. And I said, the universe will provide me the way which I have not known. Uh,
Very nice. Thank you very much for sharing that, Dr. Rao. And your awareness, you mentioned that your awareness, the intensity has reduced, and this awareness will also help you reduce the intensity, because you are better able to manage that emotion, and you're identifying the emotion being felt in the body will also help you feel into it and release it, because the emotions, as we are going to see now in the next part of the session, they are like waves. So if you feel some tightness or something, whatever you're feeling, be stuck or heaviness in your chest, it will rise and it will fall away. So once you start feeling into your body, you will experience that. And I'll also share the recording of a body scan meditation, which is very powerful in dealing with this. So thank you very much for sharing that, Dr. Rao. Any one last share anybody would like to do before we move on?
I would like to share
Yes, Abhishek.
so uh, I had a very happy and uh, so Dr. Rao had a tough day, but to the contrary, I had a fantastic day today because we were prospecting a client, and so the discussion went off extremely well. And emotion which I am feeling currently is happy. Happy. I am feeling optimistic that it will go to the next level. And my suggestions were kind of accepted, which were in a way valued by the client, saying that as a broker, this is what insurance broker, this is what we expect our partners to bring on the table. In terms of the scale, I'm feeling really static, so I'm actually on 10. Um, what about the emotion is basically kind of as I said, the discussion that went into much detail. The meeting was only for half an hour. Then it got stretched to an hour. Then client invited us for a lunch. Then they further continued the discussion for another half an hour, and then they came all the way to see us off. What am I learning about myself is like, yeah, bande mein hai dam, matlab in a way that uh, it's not all that bad. Um, what my body did feel the emotion. I felt it in my ears. I felt it in my eyes. I could feel a tingling in my nose as well. What do I really want to feel? I feel really happy, and as I said, it was a great day. What am I willing to do to create a solution? I think it's all of the above.
Okay. Very nice. Thank you for sharing that, Abhishek. Uh, what am I learning about myself? See if there is something else that is coming up for you. And if anybody else also would like to share what else comes up for you, for Abhishek, you know, for question number 4.
I think let me like rephrase this entire thing. It's like basically, when you prepare well for a meeting, when you kind of take time in terms of, uh, looking at a possible solution from multiple angles. And that is when, things really start to click. Also, one very important thing which I learned very recently is like if you hang out with the right folks. So basically, the point is that we went to a client and we said that, do you have a celebrity endorsement policy? And they said that, what is that? So, and we like said that, when you are appointing somebody as a brand ambassador, so their conduct might have direct repercussion on your brand image. So there is a liability policy that you should consider buying. And they said, oh, what is that? because our existing broker never told us that. So, one thing led to another, and not only they opened up so they were very hesitant kind of a client, and they said that we have never experienced your company, so we are not unwilling to bet on you. But that one thing opened opportunities for multiple other line of businesses.
Okay. So, thank you for sharing, Abhishek. I'd like to ask you one more time. What are you learning about yourself?
I am learning that I should be doing it more often. I should be attending your sessions more often.
All right. So, uh, the point is, whenever you ask the same question to yourself, one, second time, third time, you will have a more layered and nuanced response to the question, and that will open up a lot more about you. Whether it is question 1 to or question 7, or whatever you are, whichever question it is, when you repeatedly ask yourself, what am I feeling, what am I learning about myself, it will open up more and more and more layers, and then you will be working at the root cause of success, and your success will be permanent, and you will keep scaling new and new heights. Okay,
And
that is, yeah, thank you, Abhishek. This is for everyone. So move away from leading your life on dealing with symptoms, and move towards life where you are addressing the root causes. Then your success becomes truly sustainable. And this is got, this is not woolly, fluffy stuff. There is research. Everything that I share with you is backed by a lot of research, and this is research done by University of Iowa, where they had people playing cards with red and blue deck of cards, and people, those who were playing with red deck of cards were losing. They didn't realize it they till very late. So after playing about 80 rounds or so, they cognitively realized that red card loses. But around 50th round, they started having a hunch or a gut feeling or an intuition that something is wrong. But the best part is, even after playing 10 rounds, their sweat glands had reacted that, whenever they were playing red deck of cards, that there is something wrong with it. So when you tune into your emotions and when you tune into your body, there is immense intelligence that you are tuning into. This is not woolly, fluffy stuff. Okay. And there is one more thing I would like to share with you, why there is so much intelligence that lies in our body is because, think of zygote, which is the first cell that our body is formed with, which is a combination of the two cells that, mother and father, that combines. And that single cell that we can't even see multiplies into 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and our entire body is of 50 trillion cells is formed. And each that single small cell has intelligence, which one has to become heart cell, which one has to become kidney cell, which one has to become a lung cell, and they come together, and they patch up, and they become, the entire body is formed. So if there is that level of intelligence that is there in our cells, in our body, can we tune into it? Yes, of course you can tune into it. And the way to do it is by tuning into your emotions, learning to read what they are saying, what they are talking, and this journaling activity helps us do that. Like Abhishek came up with some learnings about himself, right? And anyone who practices it will come up with these kind of learnings. Why is this challenging? Of course, this is challenging for many reasons. One, because we have never taught to tune into our emotions, and sometimes initially the emotions may be confusing. But with practice, you'll start getting very good sense of what emotions are communicating to us. I'll pause here to see how is this going for you. If you have any questions or comments on what we have discussed so far before we move to the next part. If this is going good for you, please type
Ashish,
GG. Yes, yes,
one question,
yes,
Ashish.
yeah.
So then we have these emotions. So the journaling, I know we'll do it at the end of the day, but sometimes we miss that emotions while we write it down at the end of the day. Is it also a good practice to do it in the middle of the day as well?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Any point of time of the day you can do it, Sasha. So if you're doing it middle of the day, you can say what is the dominant emotion I have felt so far. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
and you can do it middle of the day, thinking about the last week, yesterday, whatever time.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes, Dr. Rao. Reflect regularly. You can also do it every hour. If you once you get used to this, you can do it once in a day. You can do it 2 3 times in a day, morning, afternoon, evening. You can do it any hour, any number of times you can do it. With practice, you will, and then as you get better and better at it, you will subconsciously be doing it, and you will constantly be aware of what you are feeling and what you can do about it. Um, Please type GG if this is going good for you. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you, Dr. Rao. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Gaurav.
This is like in Vipassana, they say, uh, as you go towards the end of the 10-day course, uh, there is a slogan kind of a thing, Pratiksan, Sajak Pratiksan. Uh,
Yeah.
Sajak, and for awareness, there is a word. So I'm not able to recall it. So uh, that's what they also want you to be. So awareness in doing everything and awareness of what's happening inside.
Very powerful. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Gaurav. So we'll move on now to understanding, why if emotions are so important, why don't we pay attention to it? And part of the reason is because culturally we are told if you are emotional, you are a fool. So you would have heard people saying you are an emotional fool here. Be logical, be practical, don't be an emotional fool. Okay, but that's not the emotional fool I'm talking about, and I don't agree with that. We need to be emotional, otherwise there'll be no difference between human beings and robots. This is the only difference, and by desensitizing ourselves, we are fast becoming robots only. But the emotional fool is a person who is not in touch with his emotions. Like emotionally intelligent person is somebody who understands his emotions and other people's emotions. Emotional fool is somebody who does not understand his emotions and the emotions of other people. And I would call myself an emotional fool, and I'll see if I can find that video which I recorded couple of years back on my journey of emotional fool to being emotionally intelligent. It's a journey, and for me, what had happened was when I lost my father in 1994. I didn't have time to deal with the grief. I don't think I have cried because immediately all the responsibility came on my shoulders, and we didn't have a house to live in. I had to take care of my mother, my sister, and everything else. So I became a robot, and then the additional pressure of being the only male member in the family and the only earning member in the family. So that fear of if I lose my job, I'll what will happen to my family. So then I became a robot, working tirelessly, not paying much attention to what happens to me, just working, working, working like a robot. And that had a disastrous consequence, impact on my life. Um, And I only started my journey to become emotionally intelligent started around 2014 when I attended a Louis Hay program, and then I started getting in touch with my emotions, and the whole journey started. So the point I'm trying to make here is be in touch with your emotions, and if you are in touch with your emotions, you are an emotionally intelligent person, not an emotional fool. And what happens is, as I mentioned earlier, when we start getting in touch with our emotions, it becomes difficult because you don't know how to deal with inconvenient emotions, है ना. एक तो हमको सिखाया ही नहीं गया है कि इमोशंस कैसे हैंडल करना है, उसके ऊपर से इनकन्वीनियंट इमोशंस को कैसे हैंडल करना है ये तो पता ही नहीं है हमको. सो हाउ टू हैंडल ग्रीफ, or how to handle rejection. Rejection, whether it is in business, somebody not listening to you, somebody not taking your proposal, somebody not buying from you, or somebody not agreeing to a relationship with you. That rejection becomes and there are many other inconvenient emotions that we have. I would like you to pay some attention. You don't necessarily need to share with us if you don't want to. But what are the inconvenient emotions you have felt or are feeling? जैसे मैंने आपसे शेयर किया, grief was a major emotion, और fear of losing job was a major emotion. ऐसा आपका क्या inconvenient emotion है? Please take 2 minutes to write down what is your inconvenient emotion which you have faced or are facing. You may or may not share with us, but for your own sake, write down what is the inconvenient emotion. Is it irritation, frustration, disappointment, anger? What is the inconvenient emotion? Hurt, overwhelm, anger. Okay. And also write down how do you deal with it currently. Again, you may or may not share with us, that's not the objective, but आप अभी कैसे डील करते हो. Okay.
वो डील करने को आता नहीं इसलिए तो इनकन्वीनियंट है.
करेक्ट करेक्ट, यही प्रॉब्लम है. सी, एक तो ये प्रॉब्लम है, हमको सिखाया नहीं इमोशन करना, डील. फिर इनकन्वीनियंट तो कोई भी नहीं बताता, तो डबल बैमी हो जाती है. सो वी डील विद डिफिकल्ट इमोशंस बाय एस्केपिंग फ्रॉम देम. सोशल मीडिया, रील्स, घंटे घंटे रील्स देख रहे हैं भाई लोग आजकल, binge watching, or by numbing ourselves. Okay, alcohol, food, overeating, junk food, distractions, withdrawing, silence, isolation, yeah, anger, yeah, aggression. Okay. Now there are two parts to this. One is you identify this for yourself. Also look for it in people around you. Okay. If somebody is drinking too much or eating too much or is lonely or isolated, so particularly if somebody is isolated, sometimes we think that person is a snob or that person is an introvert, but that person may be hurt, and may be wanting help but is not reaching out to you. Okay. So identify these emotions in yourselves and others, or if somebody is binge watching Netflix or binge watching reels, it may be some challenge that he or she may be facing. Now, if there is anybody who wants to volunteer, with one emotion, inconvenient emotion they are facing, we can dive little bit deep into that, and that yeah, thank you, very nice, Dr. Ram. So we can dive little bit deep into that, exploring that option. Anybody would like to volunteer with discussing their inconvenient emotion?
Coach, I'd like to talk about that.
All right, Abhishek. So let me, in your case, which is the inconvenient emotion that you are facing, Abhishek?
Anger.
Anger. Okay. Now, okay, don't look here. This is just for my reference. What triggers the anger for you?
Anger is basically when you're chasing a perfection.
When
Chasing a perfection.
you're chasing perfection. Okay.
And in spite of telling somebody over and over and over again, the person just fails to deliver.
Okay. So how do you feel? If you look at the Excel here, uh, C5, do you feel disrespected? Do you feel it's unfair, or they are ignoring you, or you feel powerless? What is the underlying feeling?
I think the underlying feeling is more like I'm not getting the word. It's like एक अंदर से आता है ना क्या क्या हो क्या रहा है मतलब why are they not doing it मतलब it's a feeling of helplessness I think.
Yeah,
Powerless, yeah.
powerless, helpless, right? Now, and what is your typical response to that? How do you, what does anger, what's the behavior that you have?
हाँ shout करना
Shout, right?
maybe
You
also give a word say a word or so.
shout, okay. Blame, sarcastic,
Yeah, sarcastic, yeah,
huh?
absolutely, yeah, because it is illegal to beat people, that's why sarcastic.
Hmm. React, attack, blame, raise voice, use
हाँ
sarcasm, right?
raise voice.
And how do you justify this behavior? You know, ये आपको जो गुस्सा आ रहा है और जो आप शाउट कर रहे हो सबके सामने, हाउ डू यू जस्टिफाई दिस?
I don't.
नहीं मतलब कुछ तो जस्टिफिकेशन है, अब तो लगता है यार ये डिजर्व करता है ये बंदा, इसने कुछ किया नहीं तो मेरा शाउटिंग जस्टिफाइड है उसके ऊपर, या इसको तो बताना ही पड़ेगा ये यूजलेस है, आई एम जस्ट बीइंग ऑनेस्ट, समथिंग लाइक दैट.
Something like that, absolutely, a combination of lot of emotions also.
Combination of lot of emotions, right? Now, is there a different way you can deal with this?
Ignore.
Okay. How would that help?
I think what I am reading of late is that a sense of maturity is that when you tend to ignore that particular thing at that moment, but not forget it, and when you revisit it later, so maybe that intensity of that particular incident reduces, and you have a different perspective of looking at the same thing that you were missing it earlier.
Okay. So let me reframe what you just shared, Abhishek. You step back rather than say ignore. What you're saying is I step back, and in the process of stepping back, I get a new perspective, and then I can have a conversation which is far more meaningful with the person.
Right.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this conversation that we had around your anger, where we explored what triggers it, how you feel, how you react, and how what can you do differently? What is coming up for you?
I think I just said that, you ignore it for the moment and then you look it through a different lens.
So this new option, so now earlier your reaction was to shout, and now you're saying I'll step back. So
Hmm.
how is this clarity making you feel?
Much
Much
better
better,
actually.
right?
Yeah.
So this exercise that we just did, 5 minute exercise with Abhishek, each one of you can do for the negative emotion that you are feeling, or the inconvenient, I won't say negative, but the inconvenient emotion that you're feeling. So basically, ask what do you feel, what triggered it, what's your typical reaction, uh, could you do something different about it, and you will realize that options open up for you, and this awareness then helps you move out of the pattern of reacting into responding. Okay, I'll pause here to see if there are any questions anybody has on this, what we just discussed. Gaurav, Somesh, Monica, Sasha, Vasudev. Okay, if there are no more questions, then we'll move on. So this is how we typically respond, and what we've just seen is by stepping back, we can create different options for us. And this way of
Can we go to previous slide?
this one or the Excel.
Yeah. No, no, this one.
Uh,
Mm. Yeah, are these bullet marks purposefully put in a plus sign so that people do all these things put together?
Interesting observation, Gaurav. Yeah, I didn't think of it that way, but no, they're just bullet marks. They're not plus. Yeah, but you're right. You're right. This is a very powerful point actually. People do all of this. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry,
Ah,
sorry to take you off topic.
good observation. Yeah. See, that is what I also
Yes.
call cocktail of emotions, you know, and that gets very
Mm.
powerful. अगर आप एक ही इमोशन फील कर रहे हो ना, तो ठीक है, बट अगर उसमें दो तीन इमोशन एक साथ आ जाते हैं, एंगर, हर्ट, सैडनेस, बिट्रेयल, तो फिर वो आउट ऑफ कंट्रोल हो जाता है आदमी, एंड दैट इज वेयर लॉट ऑफ अवेयरनेस इज रिक्वायर्ड इन डीलिंग विद इट. So, like this case, Kabir Singh, highly intelligent doctor, studying in one of the best medical colleges in India, but can't deal with the emotion of separation or love. And then he takes to drinking, and then he conducts a surgery. The surgery was successful, but his medical license still gets cancelled. So we can't justify कि मैं काम तो अच्छा कर रहा हूँ, दारू पिया तो क्या हुआ, अरे ऐसा नहीं होता. And this is not only filmy. I have seen this happening in real life also, where people who had drinking issues were fired from their jobs, or people who had anger management issues, even at senior management. In one of the startups I was consulting with, one of the founders was let go because she had anger management issues. So, and not being able to handle our emotions properly, like we just discussed, can lead to cutting short of career or promotion, or whatever else. So it doesn't happen with this session only. But awareness is the first step in towards moving ahead in your life. Now, the next part of our session is about understanding that the emotions are impermanent. They are like waves, they come and they go. And while this may sound very simple, this is again a very powerful way of understanding emotions, that emotions come and they pass. Whether it is anger management or addiction management, this is very, very powerful. Um, and both, when I talk about anger management, is not only us, but when we are dealing with a person who is angry, you realize that the person's anger will pass away, you know, and not react to it. Sometimes what happens is one person gets angry, we also get angry, and then we put fuel to fire, and then there is a huge explosion. So with this realization that anger is impermanent, if somebody else is angry, you let them, ride the wave, get angry, and then let them cool down, and then you present your point. Or if you are angry, you understand that this too will pass, and you don't, you manage this, you ride this wave properly. That is what a skilled surfer does. If you are skilled, you can ride any wave, even if it's 10-12 feet high. But if you're not a skilled surfer, even a small wave will knock you off. So like that, if you learn to manage your anger, then you can ride the wave and let go. And the way to do it is again tuning into your body, because when you start getting angry, your heart starts pumping faster, your breath becomes shallow, your ears become red, so you know that the anger is rising. And if you're tuned into the body, if you have been practicing it, you become better at managing and regulating it. Or with addiction, and in my own case, I realized that the urge to smoke is impermanent, anitya hai. Gaurav was talking about vipassana, so there the Guruji says anitya hai, sab kuch anitya hai. So the urge to smoke is also anitya. It will come and it will pass away. So I did what Abhishek said, step back. The urge comes, it will pass away. So एक दिन स्मोकिंग की अर्ज आई, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, आई लेट इट पास. Then second day and then third day, and eventually I have been smoke free for more than 16 years now. So and when this is true for all emotions, whether it is anger, sadness, happiness. Even if we are happy, we shouldn't be too happy and get carried away with it. And if we are sad, we should not feel so depressed that we are not able to come out of it. It's a bit like day and night, everything passes. So that impermanence is very important. And then also is acceptance of the fact that if somebody is feeling anything, you let them feel it. Because one of my teachers says, fully feeling a feeling is very healing. So rather than say tell people कि नहीं, ये तुमको गुस्सा नहीं करना चाहिए, तुमको दुखी नहीं होना चाहिए, you should be positive, ऐसा वैसा मत बोलो. उसको बोलो ठीक है, तुम गुस्सा हो ना, कर लो गुस्सा. तुम sad हो ना, you feel the seal. You whatever you are experiencing, feel it fully, and it will come and it will pass. So understanding this impermanence is a very, very powerful way of managing our emotions. And so that is what I would like to share here. Anything anybody would quickly like to share before we move on to the third one? Anything that resonates with you? Anything that does this make sense to you, or you have any questions? Okay, let me share one more interesting. Let me ask you a question. ये जो wave होती है ऊपर और नीचे जो pass करनी, what is the duration of this wave? Please unmute and speak or type in the chat. What is the duration of that wave for it to start? Go to the
Few
top.
seconds.
Few seconds. Okay, Monica, thank you.
It depends on the type of emotion and the intensity we are feeling.
Okay. Anything you would like to share? How long, Dr. Rao?
The wave will be in a few seconds, but the waveforms may last for a few minutes.
Okay. Wave itself will be short, but the effect may last for longer. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. So, sorry. Yes,
जो
Abhishek.
सिगरेट वाला वेव जो है ना वो खत्म नहीं होता सर। अगर वो सिगरेट वाला दिमाग में आ गया ना कि सिगरेट पीनी है, तो वो उस समय तो वेव आके चली जाती है।
हाँ.
लेकिन उसके बाद एक बिगर वेव आ जाती है कि अब सिगरेट के साथ चाय भी पीनी है। और फिर अगर वो वाली वेव को भी जाने दो ना, फिर एक और उससे भी बड़ी वेव आती है, सुनामी वाली वेव, कि चलो हम भी चलते हैं साथ में।
Yeah. So breaking the pattern is very powerful, Abhishek. Okay. And typically, every time you break a pattern, you will find that it gets weaker, not stronger. Okay. If it is getting stronger, you need to pay attention why it is getting stronger. But हर बार आप डिले करोगे तो वीक होना चाहिए. That has been my experience. But I can relate to what you are sharing. We can maybe discuss this offline also. But as Monica and Dr. Rao said, typically the duration of that wave is 90 seconds. अगर आपने 90 seconds manage कर लिया ना, and this is by Dr. David Hawkins. He's done some really wonderful work. He has calibrated this to be 90 seconds. So whether it is anger management or addiction, whatever else, if you can manage that, ride that wave for 90 seconds, you are set. Yes, Someshi, anything you would like to share? How is this going for you so far?
Something that you cannot predict things. Waves can come any time, tsunami can come anytime, but you should be able to manage that thing. That is, I think, one of the biggest lessons
Yeah,
which this metaphor or this example shows.
correct.
I mean,
Yes,
you cannot predict situations, you cannot predict anything in life, but
yeah,
how do you respond to that situation? How do you manage that situation? That is up to you.
yeah. Yeah, very well said, Somesh. And you know, the point about how our being skillful is very relevant. And also, while we can't predict it, but like Abhishek said, some things can be anticipated. अगर मुझे मालूम है एक बार मैंने पुश किया तो अगली वेव और स्ट्रांग होगी, और एक बार और पुश किया तो अगली वेव और स्ट्रांग होगी, तो मैं उसको एंटिसिपेट कर सकता हूँ, एंड देन आई कैन लर्न टू राइड इट. ओके. So while I hear you, when I was listening to you, it just came up as a perspective to share with Abhishek that you can anticipate and be better prepared to ride that wave. Yes, surely, Dr. Rao.
This is from my personal life. I started smoking somewhere in 6th, 7th class as an experiment, and consuming alcohol to break the rules of the hostel in 11th and 12th class.
Interesting.
So it went on like breaking the rules in the hostel. I was interested to find out who smoked and drank. We had, I am involved in it. So we used to do all those things. And when I went to army, I found out hard drinks are cheaper than the soft drinks. So I used to consume hard drinks. And it went on to become an habit. The day I decided to quit army, I just stopped it that day, and till now I have never smoked or drank.
Very nice.
Uh,
Takes lot of awareness, lot of control. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Rao. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. We now move to the third part, and probably we will close with this today, which is you know if we are not okay, or let me read this. If we are very dangerous when we are not conscious and we don't take responsibility for how we behave, think, and feel. When we are not conscious of our responsibility for how we behave, think, and feel, we are very, very dangerous. Okay. And that is where triggers come in for us, and they could be different triggers, people or situation. Like this neat exam paper has been leaked. It's a situation, and or sometimes people speak to you in a certain tone, and that could trigger you into doing something, or your expectations. So just reflect for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. 3 minutes. What are some of the situations in your life where you have been triggered? Because that awareness itself is a first step in dealing um, with the triggers. So what triggers you? Somebody, in my own case, I don't like being told what is to be done. So if somebody tells me what is to be done, I don't like that. And then somebody micromanaging me, I don't like that. Somebody not listening to me, not paying attention to me, or me having to repeat myself. यार एक बार बोल रहे हो, 2 बार बोल रहे हो, 3 बार बोल रहे हो, तुम सुन ही नहीं रहे हो, तुम ध्यान ही नहीं दे रहे हो क्या बोल रहा हूँ. तो फिर ट्रिगर हो जाता हूँ मैं. ओके. एंड अगेन देन कॉकटेल. अगर तुम मेरी बात नहीं सुन रहे हो और उस समय मैं भूखा भी हूँ, तो कॉकटेल हो गया वो. फिर तो गुस्सा बहुत जल्दी आता है. सो ऐसा क्या ट्रिगर है आपको? इज हंगर योर ट्रिगर? डू यू गेट ट्रिगर्ड व्हेन यू आर हंग्री, और व्हेन यू आर नॉट लिसन टू, व्हेन यू आर नॉट रिस्पेक्टेड, और योर फैमिली मेंबर इज नॉट रिस्पेक्टेड? चलो मेरे को तो जो बोला वो बोला, मेरी माँ को कुछ मत बोलना. ओके. या मेरी बहन को कुछ मत बोलना. दैट मे बी योर ट्रिगर. सो व्हाट डू यू गेट? Think of 1, 2, or 3 instances, or maybe more, where you got triggered and what triggered you. What was that thing, that triggered you? Was it the tone of the person? What? Sometimes we get into fights with ऑटो रिक्शा वाला. वो 25 रुपये फेयर था, उसने 50 रुपये मांग लिया. हमको इतना बुरा लगा, हम उससे लड़ाई कर रहे हैं. या लेजीनेस ऑफ पीपल. कोई काम नहीं कर रहा है, कोई सुन नहीं रहा है. So once you're done, please type D. 2 to 3 situations that have happened in you, and are you seeing any pattern in what triggers you? Are you seeing that the same thing? Like in my case, hunger and not being listened to is a pattern. एजिंग ट्रिगर कैसे है भाई? सफरिंग बिकॉज ऑफ
Aging,
सम. हाँ.
no, no, aging is a trigger because when you're a matured professional and when you see things better, which a younger folks are not able to anticipate. सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम एक मीटिंग में क्लाइंट मीटिंग में गए और वहां पे मेरा एक जूनियर कलीग था हु वाज इंस्ट्रूमेंटल इन ओपनिंग दैट पर्टिकुलर डोर. सो जब हम वहां पे गए अपना पूरा सूट वूट पहन के, द पर्सन ऑटोमेटिकली अज्यूम दैट आई एम सम सीनियर पर्सन. तो उसने कहा कि लेट मी इंट्रोड्यूस यू टू माय हेड ऑफ फाइनेंस. तो हेड ऑफ फाइनेंस से मिले, बहुत अच्छी बात हुई और सब कुछ हो गया. एंड फाइनेंस गाय सेड कि आप मेरे को ये पॉइंटर पे मेल डाल दो एंड आई विल शेयर माय इंफॉर्मेशन विद यू. So when my junior came back to office, so instead of addressing that mail to the CFO, he didn't even, so let alone marking it to the CFO, he didn't even mark it to them. He sent it the same communication to the junior guy. अब मेरे को पता है कि भाई हम आशीष कुमार से मिलके आए हैं and he is the decision maker. So instead of sending mail to Ashish, that same important mail went to Vaishnavi. So Vaishnavi will do what? She will eventually send it to you only. So एंड मैंने पूरा मेल बना के दिया उसको. I drafted the entire context कि सर हम ऐसे से मिले, ये किया वो किया. All that guy had to do was, since all the communication was happening through his email ID, uh, the objective was that you please send this mail and you just have to add that email ID.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So
So,
that, yeah, obviously you got triggered, Abhishek, right?
yeah, that really rubbed me off in a big way.
Okay. So good, good. Note that. Okay, what triggered you? Was it the improper, like improper in the sense not being addressed to the person was the trigger, or the person didn't listen to you, or he didn't have the basic sense to do this? What
There's a
exactly? Yeah.
basic sense. अब जैसे कोई भी organization होती है, you evolve year on year in terms of your turnover, in terms of your manpower, in terms of your reach, in terms of your client list. And so, so again, coming back to the same example, like if Ashish Kumar is the CFO of a company and it's a important deal for us. And so, idea is that we should present the latest facts. अब लेटेस्ट फैक्ट्स मैंने दिए हुए हैं कि देखो हमारी कंपनी में अब जो है पहले 19,000 लोग थे, अब जो है 24,000 लोग हैं. पहले हम 3,000 करोड़ का प्रीमियम करते थे, अब हम 5,000 करोड़ का प्रीमियम करते हैं. ये क्लाइंट जो है वी हैव लॉस्ट, सो प्लीज डू नॉट मेंशन, सो दैट इन केस समबडी आस्क यू दैट ओके एक्साइड लाइफ का वो रेफरेंस दे दो, बट एक्साइड लाइफ हैड गॉट मर्ज विद HDFC लाइफ like 4 years back. So people are using the same data point again and again in communication, which is a trigger in terms of people not doing the basic work right.
Yeah, yeah.
So either people are lazy or people are just not able to comprehend that they are just copying pasting without applying their mind. And that is where aging is a pattern, that as you age you kind of become more clearer that what will sell, what will happen, but the younger people are not able to anticipate that.
Okay. So the for you it may appear to be an aging issue, Abhishek, but they could be essentially an issue about clarity and maturity, which is not necessarily a function of age. Okay, we will not get delve deep into it because that's not the scope now. But for now, identify what triggers you, Abhishek, and that awareness of those triggers can it help you in managing your emotions better is what we're discussing. So now that you know, if this happens, this is how I get triggered, and then I shout at people or I get angry with them, and I say things which I later regret, but I can step back and do it better. That's the idea, Abhishek.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I just ignore those mails, and but I keep a note. So when we break out for a smoke, when we go out somewhere, then I just politely tell them that भाई थोड़ा ध्यान दिया करो, थोड़ा देख लिया करो.
Yeah, yeah. You have done the manager as a coach session also, Abhishek. So see if there is something you can pick up from there which you can apply.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Abhishek, for sharing. So the thing is, we react rather than respond, because that is how once we get triggered, we are overpowered, and then we can't control ourselves. There is so much energy in that emotion. That emotion is energy in motion. That आग बबूला हो गए या आपा खो दिया, you completely lose yourself and then you react. I've shared this story earlier, so I'll maybe pass it this time. But the way to deal with this is to pause, like Abhishek is saying, pause and step back. And here I would like to share this wonderful quote from Viktor Frankl. Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in that space is our power to choose our response, and our response can set us free. Now, why this matters, this statement matters, is because Viktor Frankl is the Holocaust survivor. He was in the German concentration camps, and his entire family perished in that camp. He survived, and it's like the worst human experience that you can imagine. And हम लोग को तुम्हारी जिंदगी जहन्नुम लगती है, बट वो जिंदगी जो कंसंट्रेशन कैंप की है वो तो मतलब जहन्नुम 100,000 टाइम्स होती है. I'll give you some examples, so that you're able to appreciate what this gentleman is saying. वहाँ पे हर रोज सुबह आदमियों को ट्रेन्स में भर के ले जाते थे. एंड कुछ ट्रेन राइट जाएंगी, कुछ ट्रेन लेफ्ट जाएंगी. एंड यू डोंट नो, whether you are being taken to the prison or you being taken to the gas chamber. तो हर रोज सुबह आपको ट्रेन में भर के ले जा रहे हैं और आपको पता नहीं आज मेरा आखिरी दिन होगा कि नहीं. सो यू आर लिविंग योर लाइफ इन दैट अनसर्टेनिटी वेदर यू डोंट नो whether you're going to be alive or not. Other things are, your hair is shaved, your eyebrows are shaved, your identity is taken away. You are not called by your name, you're called by your number. So your identity is taken away. खाना मिलता है जो गटर के पानी के बराबर होता है, ऐसा खाना मिलता है. उस सिचुएशन में, इतनी खराब सिचुएशन जो है, विक्टर फ्रैंकल सेज यू हैव ए ऑप्शन टू चूज योर एटीट्यूड. ओके, बिकॉज बिटवीन द ट्रिगर and the reaction there is a space, and our pausing, our stepping back and choosing what I'm going to do can create a completely different outcome for me. जैक कैनफील्ड का एक बहुत सुंदर इक्वेशन है, E+R = O. इवेंट प्लस रिएक्शन = आउटकम, एंड ईच आउटकम डिटरमाइंस द नेक्स्ट इवेंट. अगर कुछ हुआ, आपने रिएक्ट नहीं किया, आप रिस्पॉन्ड, तो आपका एक अलग आउटकम होगा, एंड नेक्स्ट इवेंट विल पॉसिबली बी ए प्लेजेंट वन. बट एक इवेंट हुआ, कोई गुस्सा हो गया, आपने और उसके ऊपर गुस्सा हो गया, फिर हाथापाई शुरू हो गई, आपने किसी का खून कर दिया, तो एक और आउटकम होगा, फिर नेक्स्ट इवेंट उसके हिसाब से होगा. सो पॉजिंग, practicing the pause is extremely powerful. And in all the sessions that I have done, people come back and tell me later that आशीष आपके इतने सारे सेशन के, वो प्रैक्टिस द पॉज जो था ना, वो बहुत बढ़िया है. ये चीज़ सबको बहुत अच्छी लगती है. आप जहाँ पे भी हों, जिस सिचुएशन में भी हों, थम जाएं. एक इसका पुशबैक आता है कि आशीष इफ आई कीप क्वाइट, आई लुक लाइक डम. बट ऐसा है नहीं प्रैक्टिकली. our mind may be telling us that I'll look like dumb. उसका भी एक साइंटिफिक रीज़न है कि ये जो पॉज है ना, इट्स 1/20th of a second. So you don't have to pause for a minute also. You just need to be aware that I'm pausing and use that 1 second or 1/20th of a second or fraction of a second to gather yourself and then respond rather than react. कई बार क्या होता है कि बिकॉज वी आर कंडीशनड इन ए पर्टिकुलर वे, हमको लगता है बस यही तरीका है काम करने का, यही बोल सकता हूँ. बट व्हेन यू स्टेप बैक, you will always find there are more than one ways to deal with that situation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways will emerge and you will have a much better response. So that is the very powerful way to deal. And I really love this quote, that the most important spiritual growth doesn't happen when you are meditating or on a yoga mat. It happens in the midst of a conflict, when you are frustrated, angry or scared, and you are doing the same old thing, and then you suddenly realize that you have a choice to do it differently. So that was the third part of our session, Hi Rosina, which was about trigger and pause. And I think we will pause our session here to hear from you, and then maybe we can close the session. So may take 3 minutes to review and recap what we have covered in the session so far, and then we will be happy to hear from you, and then we will bring the session to a close. For the benefit of everybody, we discussed about awareness of emotions, the range of emotions we have, We discuss about the wheel of emotions, the nuances of different emotions, how we are living our lives in a very limited way. अगर आप इमोशन ही दो चार एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो तो लाइफ भी आप थोड़ी बहुत ही एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो. यू आर नॉट फुली लिविंग योर लाइफ. So, and how journaling can help us come up with great insights about ourselves, which can completely transform our life. That is how we began our session. The second, we discussed about impermanence of emotions, how emotions are like waves, they come and go, and how that can help us deal with the emotions like sadness, happiness, addictions, anger management, how nothing lasts forever, and how understanding this in ourselves and others can help us improve our relationships, deal with inconvenient emotions. And third, we discussed about triggers. What triggers us? What is the underlying cause of the trigger? And how we always have a choice to pause, step back, evaluate, and then respond rather than react. We discussed about how the duration of each wave is about 90 seconds and how this pause is 1/20th of a second. So it doesn't really take too much time, just practice. Anyone who is ready to share can raise your virtual hand and we'll be happy to hear from you. Your takeaways, what were the insights you got in the session? What is one thing, one trigger that you got aware of? What is one thing that you will start doing? What is one thing that you will stop doing? What is it that you will do differently from now on? Yes, Dr. Rao.
Thank you very much. Today we have gone through the body of emotions. One of the great takeaway is my trigger, which I expect from others how they should behave. If they don't behave in the way I expect, I get triggered. Now I can pause and wave off the trigger and overcome it and get that person to understand what this, though in a scientific way, what I am telling, because I deal with most of the sick people and not so sick attendants, both the people who come regularly to me. And this, with the medical science, if we add an practically acceptable emotional science to it, we can make a huge difference in the society.
Very nice.
So, thank you very much for today's session.
Thank you, Doctor. And what would you do differently basis you're realizing that this is your trigger?
Yes, now I have already started practicing and it's giving me a good dividend. If the patient is not able to understand what I say, I speak more to the attendant, probably the spouse of the patient or the children of the patient or the grandchildren of the patient, and ask them to tell them and tell the patient. And when the patient says they don't listen to me, and I say, this is actually what the love is. Then they fall back and say, yes, because he's concerned about me, they are always on that side. So now both the patient and the attendants, everyone, and even otherwise also in the general society, people are able to not only that addressing the problem to the individual who is actually facing the problem, because our Indian society is a unique society. We are never an individual. We are the basic unit of the family. Nowhere in the world other than Japan, we don't find this unit. as a family. So we always have one or other with extension of the problem. We either address the extension of the problem if the problem is not solved, so that we can get better over it.
Thank you, doctor.
Mm.
Whom would you like to invite next, Dr. Rao?
Abhishek ji.
Great session today, Coach, and thank you, Dr. Rao. Uh, I think good to be back after a long time. Start my video, of course. Yeah, handsome लोगों को तो देखना चाहिए थोड़ा सा. So great. I mean, I think emotions. I think emotional intelligence is something which came up in my organization a couple of times, but I couldn't attend the session. But I think I was waiting for this to happen. So very very engaging session. I think everyone contributed a lot, and yeah, to know different aspects about emotions, and as you mentioned about journaling, uh, and journaling is something what you have been talking about ever since I met you. So this is not new. It's just like there's so much to journal that I think it will be a book, after a year to see that how far one has come or how the life has changed.
My always journals are here.
Phenomenal. And I think this is like a legacy that you kind of build, and your children will be like so proud at some time कि भाई पापा ने क्या क्या किया हुआ है.
So, what do you do differently, Abhishek?
Differently is again start journaling. I'm looking for a notebook. I think so. There's a lot, and I tell you honestly, whenever I have started writing, and when I look back to those notes, also, you feel, अच्छा ये भी किया था उस दिन, अच्छा ये हुआ था उस दिन. So it's a very empowering this thing also.
Very nice, very nice.
So definitely yes. I also try to do a digital journaling, but because I thought that it's better typing, because today life has become such that writing becomes,
Yeah.
because your thoughts are outpacing your writing. So, and since we do typing better these days, so I tried that as well, but somehow been unsuccessful. But I think, yeah, writing
Yeah,
is the best way.
yeah, writing is better, Abhishek. We won't get into the reasons for that now, but we can discuss that later. But
Sure.
writing is better, handwriting.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Coach. Great
Thank you.
session.
Thank you, Abhishek. Whom would you like to invite next?
Rosina.
Thank you, Dr. Abhishek. I attended just midway. I was I had some other session to attend at the community ground. So I just came and I just heard about emotional triggers. And yes, since to a lot of extent, I have like started the, the pause is I've practiced pause, okay, before reacting. So whenever some emotional triggers have happened, it's like there's a pause, and then from where it has come, so I'm able in the position now to identify the root causes of it. कि कहाँ से आया है, what part of it has given this, and why this is coming up again and again. And it was like this requires a completion. So how will you do it? So it's like going with forgiveness and getting it clear. That's there. Journaling, I don't know, still I'm not able to start. I don't know why. But Abhishek said that he tried typing. Even I have tried typing and I have done on the with writing also, and I still prefer to go with the books to write. But the only thing is like ये इतना लिखेंगे journals रखेंगे कहाँ पे? That's something I question. So it's like if it's typing, so the books are there in the laptop, and you can it's been stored in one place. So your books, so that's where it is a little bit. But yes, I'm able to identify my triggers and able to take actions over it. That's the progress is there. I would put up that. So this sessions have really helped me out. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Ashish.
Thank you, Rosina. Whom would you like to invite next?
Monica.
या थैंक यू रुजुना। मेरे लिए आज का सेशन काफी इम्पोर्टेंट था। माई पर्सनल हैंडलिंग माई ओन इमोशंस। दिस जर्निंग ऑफ योर इमोशंस इज रियली वेरी गुड। The 7 points to check yourself during the day or any difficult situation. I think this is a powerful tool. Sometimes situation is like that कि कोई आपके पास नहीं है जिसको आप एक्सप्लेन कर पाओ, जो कुछ भी ऐसी सिचुएशन होती है कि आपको ही रास्ता बनाना है, तो ये टूल वहां पे बहुत ही यूजफुल हो सकता है कि उस सिचुएशन को राइट डाउन कर लिया कि क्या फीलिंग्स चल रही हैं। और इनकन्वीनियंट इमोशंस वाला टॉपिक आई वाज नॉट अवेयर कि इसको इनकन्वीनियंटली अगर बोलेंगे तो बेटर रहेगा। ये एक बहुत अच्छा लर्निंग था। तो जिसमें है डिसरिस्पेक्ट होती है, रिजेक्शन होता है किसी भी चीज पे। और एक और प्रॉब्लम जो मैं फेस करती हूँ कि जैसे मैंने किसी से एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं रखी काम की, पर उसने मेरी तरफ बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपेक्टेशन हाई रख रखी। तो जब मेरा काम नहीं हुआ उससे, तो मैंने उसको बोला कि तुमने मेरे से क्यों इतनी हाई एक्सपेक्टेशन रखी हुई है, मेरे को 100% राइट कम करके देना है तुम्हें। ये चीज मुझे बहुत परेशान करती है। तुम लो लो एनर्जी पे रहते हो, जब तुम्हारा काम करने का जो एटीट्यूड है कोई भी, ये मैंने ऑफिस में भी देखा है और पर्सनली भी देखा है। पर लोग इन चीजों को इतना राउंड राउंड करके बात को इतना उलझा लेते हैं कि उस बात को एग्री नहीं करते कि उनकी कोई गलती है। ये मुझे हैंडल करने में आती है प्रॉब्लम कि वो मेरे से तो एक्सपेक्टेशन बहुत हाई रखेंगे, मैं क्यों उतना डिलीवर करूं। जितना तुमने डिलीवर किया उतना मैं कर देती हूँ। तो ये प्रॉब्लम्स है। और जो आपका था कि एक परेशानी ये होती है लाइफ में कि कई बार कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स जो होती है वो रिपीटेडली होती हैं। जो सिचुएशन लाइक इंसान, स्पेशली लोगों के साथ, पीपल, हाउ टू मैनेज पीपल, सेम प्रॉब्लम आपको एवरी 6 मंथ्स, एवरी 1 ईयर, एवरी एवरी वीक, या जो भी एक फ्रीक्वेंसी है बार बार आती है, तो वो ट्रिगर होगी ही। आप कितना आप इग्नोर करोगे उस चीज को।
या
ठीक है, समटाइम ये हो जाता है कि छोड़ना ही पड़ेगा। आप बताइए उसका क्या सोल्यूशन है।
मोनिका, ये जो आप रिपीट करने की बात कर रहे हो ना, ये आप जब जर्नलिंग करना शुरू करोगे, देन एंड यू आस्क योर सेल्फ दिस क्वेश्चन लाइक वी डिड दैट विद अभिषेक, what is this telling you about yourself, what is this telling you about yourself, what is this telling. As you start asking those questions multiple times to yourselves, 1 2 3 4 5 times, you will start moving towards the root cause. And once you identify the root cause, फिर वहाँ पे जब एड्रेस होगा वो सिचुएशन, तब फिर वो पैटर्न ब्रेक हो जाएगा और वापस नहीं रिकर होगी सिचुएशन। आप ये ट्राई करके देखिए।
What what am I learning about myself in that
हाँ
situation?
हाँ ओके
Okay.
या थैंक यू मोनिका। whom would you like to invite next?
Who left actually?
Who?
Who
Somesh,
is left?
सुमेश। सुमेश जी।
अच्छा, सुमेश।
सुमेश
सुमेश।
जी, गौरव, वासुदेव जी। whose name did she take? मोनिका, किसको इनवाइट करोगे आप?
गौरव जी।
गौरव जी, ओके।
ओके सो नहीं, दिस इमोशंस का जो है ना, ये आई हैव once upon a time my counselor had also asked me to do this thing. So every day he had asked me to identify the emotions that I have felt throughout the day, and then use it. So this is something that I would like to do. I have a suggestion, sir. If you have a session on power of rituals or something.
Yes,
Uh, okay.
मैजिकल
So
सक्सेस
is
रिचुअल,
it
यस।
possible for you to take it, so that what, because what will happen is that will set us in motion. तो ये चार चीजें करनी है, ये दिमाग में आ गया है एक बार. Because what is happening is we are noting down things right now, but not able to put it in a schedule.
ओके ओके।
वो हिसाब से अगर वो सेशन एक बार हो जाता है, नहीं तो उसका रिकॉर्डिंग मिल जाता है आइदर ऑफ.
Sure, sure.
आई बेटर टू हैव इट लाइव, तो वो
Correct.
थोड़ा सा आसान हो जाएगा.
Sure, Gaurav. I hear you,
दैट्स व्हाट
and
आई वुड
maybe
सजेस्ट.
हाँ, yeah. बोलिए बोलिए, आप बोलिए पहले.
हम्म. हाँ. एंड ये पॉज का तो मैं नॉर्मली इट्स very seldom that I react to things. I mean, people saying names, uh, you know, ताने मारना रहने दो, नहीं तो और कुछ भी रहने दो. I have very seldom I have react to it. It's always uh, this thing. And another thing, being spicy, we are mean rush is driven by emotions. So I it happens a lot of times with me to uh, say control my emotions and concentrate on work. So that is a major thing that I would like to work on. So there are ways to it. Journaling would definitely help, and journaling with these kind of questions would definitely help. So I will have to I put it in a perspective. थोड़े
Sure.
मॉर्निंग रिचुअल्स, थोड़े इवनिंग रिचुअल्स कुछ शेड्यूल में करने पड़ेंगे मेरे को.
Sure. While
Yeah.
I hear about the success rituals, Gaurav, but we've also done the time management session, right? Where we have discussed about putting it in, putting Q2 into block. So you can also refer to that and start blocking out time in your calendar, that monthly activity schedule, and decide what time you're going to do this, and put it there. But point taken, I'll see how fast we can do move to the magical success rituals. Yes, Gaurav, whom would you like to invite next?
I think only Somesh is remaining.
Somesh and Vasudev.
Okay. Today it would be Somesh.
Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks for inviting me. Today's session was very powerful and insightful, and I'm sure everybody on this call can relate to it. In a day, a person goes through a lot of emotions. It is not about only one emotion in a day. Emotion changes also in a day. In the morning, when you wake up, you might be very happy that today I'm going to close a deal. But by the time your emotion changes and you become a little anxious and worried what is going to happen, whether the person will turn up or not. So these kind of things happen. And one interesting thing I noticed today is that you showed us scores of emotions through that wheel. But the trigger for all those emotions can be categorized into four categories. That is people, situation, tone, and expectations. And this is a very, very good explanation of how to control that emotion. Because every emotion will fall in one of these categories. Either it could be people, or the situations, or the tone, or the expectations. So you rightly said, if we know the trigger, we can control our
Yeah,
emotions and we can control our reactions. That is the best part of the training today.
beautiful,
Though
Somesh.
you may be sad, you may be depressed, you may be disappointed, you may feel loneliness, there could be loneliness in your life. But if you know the reason, if you know the triggers, and you fit into one of these triggers, then I'm sure you will have full control over your reactions. So I just wanted to quote my example. Earlier, I used to be very, very, aggressive and very angry, and because I realized that I cannot change people, but I can change myself, and that I started doing since last 1 year or so. And reading and listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks helped me a lot, because you cannot change other person, you cannot change someone's nature, but you definitely have control on yourself, and you can change yourself. And ever since I have started doing that, my life has completely changed now.
Yeah.
I am more in control of myself.
Beautiful.
I don't bother what everyone is saying or what everyone is trying to tell me. I know that I know myself well. I'm self-aware now, basically.
Very nice.
So I think that is the biggest learning for today. And yes, I am especially thankful for these four triggers. I maybe in the subconscious mind I knew this is happening due to this person, this is happening due to this situation, but you have very succinctly provided these four categories. Now going forward, I will try to fit my emotions into one of these categories and try to react accordingly. So
Thank
thank you, Ashish. Thank you for this
Thank you.
session.
Thank you
I
so
really
much.
appreciate. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And would you now like to invite Vasudev ji for this
Yes, I
final?
would like to invite Mr. Vasudev.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ji. Thank you, Ashish sir. We have wonderful learning today. This wheel of emotions, I think I've seen earlier, but the kind of detailing like uh, it gets a repeat, then it gets refreshes like every time on the New Year day. Even if I follow the New Year resolution for 3 days, at least we have 3 days better. So it's definitely it's on in my favor for that. Uh, Emotions control, sometimes I feel that because in the two things that we did today, one was the emotions, like how do you respond to the things that are there, like you gave the example of Viktor Frankl, where what is given to you and what you responded, what was the choice that you have taken. That sometimes is a bit difficult because at an early age, maybe even before my marriage, we I attended this session called as the management development program in 2006 or 7. So might be 25 at that time. And at that time, we have gone through this session, which we used to call as respond, don't react, and that's what the pause part of it is all about. And one of that was subject in that session was focus. So today's thing is just recapturing it because that was the first place when I heard this. Where is your focus? That was what was told. Like there was a game that we played in that. Four people, two teams were made, and there was some target which we were trying to hit with a ball. And in the first time, everyone was encouraging, and in the second time, everyone was discouraging us. So the players were getting encouraged and discouraged, and whenever it was encouraged, it was happening better. So at the end of the session, after the end of the game, the coach called us and asked us what was happening. Then we said that people were happy, they were reacting well, and all that. Then he said that, but what was the activity that was given to you? The focus had to be on the ball and the target that is to be hit. What others said had nothing to do. So this kind of emotion connection that has a big difference. But in the long run, when I come in different areas, uh, it gives a feeling that sometimes the other person is not has not having that much of knowledge that I have, and maybe sometimes the language that I use must be react than to respond. It may be sometimes senior to me or junior to me. Well, those people who had worked with me, who had gone through the MDP earlier before me, as they were senior, and when we responded, they used to appreciate that. But after changing the jobs and bosses changed, that lack of reaction felt a bit different. So, like so Mr. was saying that the person and situation also make the emotion different, and sometimes getting to the emotion that is required is very important. Like my immediate senior today keeps on telling us that चुप रहना मुश्किल होता है, कुछ ना कुछ बोल देना बहुत आसान होता है. So more energy is required to keep that silence and absorb that thing, which means taking that necessary pause before reacting to the statement or things that are said. So this was recalibrating and re-discussing that part of it. Like it took me back to those 2006-7 classes where I was sitting in that room with my friends and doing those sessions. The good part of it is that the emotions are named, like there is certain emotion called I feel a little peeved. One of the subject was saying that. So what is peeved? Then we went through that it is like not feeling too happy, but too unhappy, but still feeling a little bit down. And those things are get like when you start to give the emotion the name, then sometimes the need of that goes off, or like feel of it makes different. And the pause, definitely, I have. This was a very recent experience that one of our contractor has come up with some requirement that he needs to be paid 2 lakhs of additional bill. And twice he came to me and has the first action, like the first what you call communication part, I have denied him. Then he went to my boss and he put up the request again for that 2 lakh rupees. And boss said that I will discuss it only when Vasu is there. So you come back when he comes back from the leave. He had given a call and told me that I am claiming 2 lakhs. I said I am on leave, but I don't think with the existing agreement you will get that. So recently when he came, he was in a hot mood and he started saying that साहब आप हमको घुमा रहे हैं, आप देना नहीं चाहते हैं, and all that. And it came up to like I had to take a well-intentioned pause. I was about to say, but my boss had taken that pause a bit quicker. And he said, नहीं नहीं ऐसा नहीं है आपको with your 2 lakhs Aditya Birla Group is not going to become rich or poor. So when we go to our management, we should say yes only. And before that, we always say no. So my senior took it on a different kind of field. And that moment, because I took that pause, it has helped that I came to know what my boss's mindset is. He also wanted to say no, but the way he took that different. So that was a great learning. And because this pause has helped me a lot across that. And once I wrote a poem also, and then after taking the pause, I reworded that poem. So this pause has always helped me, and it always helps to know that this is a strong point, and revision is always necessary to say that respond, don't react. Give the time to respond, and if I had done this after 10 minutes, what would have been my response? That has helped me a lot.
Wonderful.
Thank you for the session.
Thank you so much, Vasudev. Such a powerful sharing. Very nice. It's really interesting to see how it opened up options for you and it worked out in your favor. Thank you for sharing that, and great insights that you shared, Vasudev. Truly appreciate that. Thank you everybody for joining us today. As I mentioned at the start of the session, our next session will be on 28th of May at 8 p.m. on compassionate leadership. So looking forward to seeing you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Ashish. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good night.
Ji.
Thank you.
Thank you.